Hello, my fellow book nerds. Welcome to the Phoenix Library. Enter and immerse yourself in the magic. Everybody's been having a fantastic July. Unlike the last 2 months, I'm a lot more optimistic about August because after how busy I've been the last 2 months, August is literally the only time that I'm gonna have left to relax before school starts, and I'm a homeschool mom, so I'm gonna be super busy between homeschooling and 4-H and training to run a marathon. My plan for August after my competition is to literally do nothing. Other than, we have some projects for our new house that we wanna do that have had to be put on the wayside because of all this crafting and stuff that I've been having to knock out for my competition. My plan is to do so much reading. We're gonna do the same thing that we have been doing. We're gonna go to my trusty TBR jar right here. You know it. And it's gonna pick the 6 books. And then I'm gonna do a book bingo roulette thing, and we'll see what book we get for that. It's gonna be fine because it's gonna be August and I'm just gonna read to my heart's content. This is like my 3rd Diet Dr. Pepper, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about books. So let's get into talking about books. I love picking my books. It's so much fun. I like doing the prompts and seeing if I can figure out something that will match what I already have. So book prompt 1, it's very tiny. Let's see, a book with magic. Okay, I got lots of those. There's like magic in all of my books. But you know what? There's a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and every single time I go to my bookshelf, I never get around to it. But you know, when the prompt speaks, you gotta listen. So I think I got my book. Okay, so the book I picked is Dragons and Aces by J.G. Gates. This is book 1 in the Dragons and Aces series, obviously dragons, so we're already gonna have magic. This is on my list of the 26 books I want to read in 2026, and so I'm kind of getting a twofer here. On the back, it says, a dragon rider, a bitplane pilot, 2 enemy nations, 1 epic love story, the wind is ours. Oh, you guys, it sounds so good. There is a picture of them. Is that not freaking adorable? I know, it totally is. So I had to go to my iPad to get the exempt for you for the book because it literally, other than what I read on the back here, that's like literally all there is. I was born a princess, but in the skies of Maythelia, blood means nothing. Power is everything. And with only 1 arm, I've spent my entire life being underestimated by the elite dragon riders sworn to protect the crown. Then my sister was murdered by enemy pilots. Now I'm expected to take her place in the deadly trials to become the next leader of the Skrethian, survive the dragons, outfly my rivals, prove I'm worthy of the crown before the kingdom tears itself apart. The problem? No one believes I can win. Then a mysterious stranger washes ashore. Charlie is arrogant, infuriating, and far too handsome for his own good. He claims he's just a reporter, but I know he's lying. Still, he's the only person who looks at me and sees strength instead of weakness, the only one willing to teach me how to fight smarter, fly harder, and survive what's coming. I shouldn't trust him. I definitely shouldn't want him. But the closer we become, the more dangerous our connection feels. Because Charlie isn't a reporter at all. He's the Silver Wraith, the most feared pilot in our enemy nation's history, and if anyone discovers who he really is, he'll be executed as a spy. Now I'm trapped between the kingdom I'm sworn to protect and the enemy who's stolen my heart. As war brews across the sea and deadly conspiracies spread through the palace, I'll have to decide what I'm willing to sacrifice to claim the crown, because in a world of dragons, falling for the enemy could cost me everything. Perfect for fans of Fourth Wing and Bloodwing Academy, Dragons and Aces is an enemies to lovers romantasy featuring dragon riders, forbidden romance, deadly trials, court intrigue, a morally gray hero, found family, and sizzling spice. It sounds good. There's like a little highlight here. It says, "You don't want me," I whispered. "I'm a dead girl." "And I'm a dead man," he said. "So this must be heaven." So that is the first book that we are going to read in August. So August is going to start out with a bang. Now let's see what we got for book prompt number 2. Now that my prompts are getting lower, they're not quite so hard to get out of the jar. Okay, we had a small one the first time, and now we have a long one here. Okay, read one of your most anticipated books of the year. So basically I'm just going to have to look at my shelf and pick the book that I am anticipating the most. I'm gonna have to think about that one for a bit. Okay, this was a tough one, but I think I figured it out. I didn't want to pick new release books that just came out this year, because obviously some of them I'm still waiting on. And so there's books that are coming out this year that aren't out yet that are my most anticipated reads of the year, or I've already read them. So out of just all of the books that I have here, I picked a book that I actually just picked up at Walmart yesterday. And you guys, it sounds incredibly amazing. And that is Worthy of Fate. This is Realms in Peril. Their bond was destined. The plague is its price. This is by A.N. Cadell. It has raving reviews by one of my favorite authors, which is L.J. Andrews, who writes the Broken Kingdom series that I love so much. They say, "I'm in love," with an exclamation point. So it's got raving reviews from L.J. Andrews herself. But here's what it says on the back. A fae must risk everything to save her realm from the darkness plaguing the land. In this thrilling first novel in the Realms in Peril series, with exclusive bonus material for this print edition. So we got a special print edition. The plague on Kaya's nation has taken everything, her family, her home, and now it's threatening to obliterate her entire realm. Since the gods marked her skin at birth, she's always known she'll be forced to participate in the trial of the gods when the time comes. There, she will be deemed worthy and be gifted incredible powers with a nation to protect, fail, and potentially lose her life or experience a fate worse than death. Riker will do anything for his nation, but when he finds his mate, the pull is too strong to ignore. When claiming his mate becomes at odds with the safety of his people, he must make a decision no fae should have to face, and battle between the god's will and protecting his nation from the plague. Darkly delicious, filled with tension, survival, and beautiful destiny. A story full of intrigue and passion. Guys, this book sounds incredible, and I don't know, it's like every single time I see it, every single time I read the back of it, I'm just more and more and more excited to read this book. So I definitely say that this is one of the top books that I'm anticipating reading, even though I just found it yesterday. We're gonna go with this one as book prompt number 2. All right, book prompt number 3. Let's give this a good shake. Thought I was gonna get my hand stuck in there for a second. That was a bit scary. Okay, most recent purchase. Okay, well, every single time I say this, it amazes me because of how much I hated book 1, but I think for book prompt number 3, we're going to do Gleam by Raven Kennedy. This is book 3 in the Plated Prisoner series, and the need to keep reading this story is crazy. The journey with this story for me has been crazy, considering how much I hated book 1. But I am seriously wanting to read this book. It is becoming a favorite of mine, which I did not see coming. That completely blindsided me. And I absolutely have to know what's going to happen next after the end of book 2. But I'm looking forward to getting back into this series. So we're going to go with Gleam. And you know what? I'm going to be here for this book in August. Especially with not having any other worries and things on my mind where I can just relax in the month of August. Yes, we're going to do it, and it's going to be an amazing time. In the Plated Prisoner series, it is like a Midas retelling story. You have this girl who gets turned to gold, and she lives with this King Midas, and she's kind of in this almost like a bird cage in a way, only bigger. Like he has basically rebuilt the whole entire upper area of his castle with like all these bars around it, so she can get into certain areas like the library and the dining hall, things like that. She can walk around, but she's still isolated. Nobody can really talk to her except for Midas and her guard. And even then, he doesn't talk to her that much. She feels safe there, so she allows herself to stay there. But some events happen. Midas ends up leaving, And then he calls for her later and she makes her way to him, but a series of events happen along the way. And then she starts realizing that maybe, just maybe, this plated prison that she was living in might not be what she really wants anymore, that she might want something different. It's a good story. I just really hate Midas. And I hate the whole beginning of it, but a lot happens between, like, in book 2. And she really starts branching out on her own. And it's just, I understand the concept of needing book 1 to understand her struggle and the things that she's dealing with, because then it just makes the rest of the book understandable, more bittersweet, right? So I'm glad I read book 1, even though I hated it so much. Let's get into book number 4. And I'm going to switch to my left hand, or I'm going to switch to my right hand here. See if I'm luckier. Although I feel like my prompts have been pretty good so far. Okay. Wow. Very long for something that it was written very short. A 5-star prediction. Oh man, you guys. I am not the greatest with 5-star predictions. I have been epically failing at that, I feel like. Right. I'm going safe. I'm going safe. 5-star prediction for me is going to have to be a Nora Roberts book. We're reading this. It is The Final Target by Nora Roberts. I wanted to read it this month, but I'm not even going to get through all of the books that I had already picked already, and I will get into that when I make my books that I read in July video. But this is the book I'm going to read in August. It might even be the first book I read in August, who knows? But this seems exactly up my alley right now. This has definitely got a heavier thriller base to it. And then look at the inside. That's really cool. I'm just gonna read the exempt. What is it? Duh. Let's do that. Okay. A young author becomes the object of a fan's desire and rage. He showed up at Arden Bowie's debut author appearance with a copy of her novel and an eager smile. He showered her with compliments and got her autograph. Then he came to her next event and the one after that. Dustin was just an aspiring writer who wanted advice. Arden reassured herself this, but after giving in to one of his incessant investigations and chatting with him over coffee, she discovered that ignoring her inner alarm bell had been a terrible mistake. An introvert at heart, Arden had long craved solitude, but now, after a harrowing assault, she finds herself hiding behind locked doors and startling at every sound, and her relief at Dustin's imprisonment is tempered by anxiety when his wealthy mother helps to get him a paltry 5-year sentence at a psychiatric facility. Arden decides to write a new story for herself, moving to a tiny Oregon town and befriending Gideon, an ex-LAPD detective. But while she learns to thrive, Dustin remains his delusional, twisted self, as fixated as ever, and now seething with anger. He still believes Arden's purpose on Earth is to serve and please him, and his job is to protect her. But who will protect her from him? Sounds really good. And you know what? Honestly, Nora Roberts is a really good thriller author. She has another pen name that she goes by for just like thriller type stories. That is J.D. Robb, I believe is what it is. And she does like those books have like no romance. It's just full on thriller. That's kind of the vibe that I get it. It's like a thriller romance type setup. And I don't know why, you know, in August, people normally think light and fluffy and flowery and cutesy and giggly. I'm going for a thriller book in the hottest, heatiest part of summer. Let's do it. Okay, book prompt number 5. Let's see. We're doing good so far, guys. Got a good choice of books here. A book you have been avoiding. For that prompt, we're gonna go with Light Lark by Alex Astor. I really loved her Starside books. And I also believe she wrote the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I can't remember. I've been kind of avoiding this one because I've been hearing a lot of mixed emotions when it comes to this book. But it says, welcome to the centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game where the rulers of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked. To break them and save themselves and their realms, one ruler must die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray. Even his love complicates everything. Okay, so of course this is part of a series. This is book 1. And like I said, I've been hearing mixed signals about this. Some people really haven't liked it. They got bored of it, and some people had really nasty things to say. Nasty enough that it had me going, oh great, I picked up book 1 because it was actually a recommendation from a random person I just met at Walmart. I was looking at books, she was looking at books, and we just started talking, and she's the one that recommended this. She has the entire series, and she said she absolutely loved it and wouldn't stop raving about it. So that's what had me picking up book 1. But again, since then, some people have read it and they've said some pretty nasty things that has made me hesitant. So this has been on my shelf for quite a while. We're going to read it, guys. I believe it's a YA, but yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to give it a try. And why not in August? So, I mean, I've got a bunch of really amazing books and picks here. So I guess we needed to add one that I'm not quite sure of just to, you know, keep things fresh. Okay, our last book prompt number 6, and then we will do the book bingo. Oh, come on. Ah! Okay, what do we got here? A popular book you haven't read. I am going to go with The Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. Oh man, is that a tongue twister? I butchered that. Again, I apologize. I'm horrible with names. Now, this book I've been hearing a lot about. It is quite popular. Everybody's talking about it, which is why I put this book on the 26 books I wanted to read in 2026, because I've been hearing nonstop things about it. And most of them have been really good things. I think this is kind of like a YA style book as well. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on it, but I think it's YA. And again, I've been hearing great things about it, and it sounds really good. So yeah, we'll do this one. Let's see. Forbidden Romance steams up the pages of this Persian mythology-inspired fantasy series opener in a luxurious saffron-scented world where devils whisper unwelcome prophecies and princes fall in love with ice-eyed jinn. Hopeless romantics will relish the euphoric agony of anticipation as they watch these fated lovers sort through their feelings. But while Eliza and Cameron, I'm going with, relationships develop, Mafia treats readers to sumptuous world building. Mafi's story expands deliberately, each small revelation rising from the one before, delivering deeply satisfying epiphanies at the end of each chapter. The wait for a return ticket to this exquisite kingdom is made bearable only by flipping to the front and repeating your first visit. Interesting. That was a New York Times book review. The exempt, Zia, I guess I'm gonna have to look that up on Google, is a disposable servant, not the long-lost heir to an ancient jinn kingdom forced to hide in plain sight. The crown prince, Cameron, has heard the prophecies foretelling the death of his king, but he could never have imagined that this servant girl he can't put out of his mind would one day uproot his kingdom and the world. This Woven Kingdom is a story of clashing empires, forbidden romance, and a long-forgotten queen who must claw her way through darkness to reclaim her throne, rebuild her kingdom, and save her people from the half-lives they've been forced to live. Oh yeah, yes. See, it sounds really good. It might not be a YA either, because I'm seeing things in here. This epic fantasy is brilliantly structured, eloquent prose, brings vivid immediacy to each scene. Mafi gives full due to their steamy forbidden attraction. The ending endures a breathless awaited sequel. So, but again, that doesn't say that it's not YA. Like, I have read some steamy scenes in books that have been labeled as YA. I feel like I've got a couple books in here that have been on my TBR shelf for a while, so that makes me feel good to know that I'm actually getting to some of these older books that have been on my shelf for a while that I just hadn't gotten around to. All right, so now that we got those done, you guys, let's go ahead and get into our book bingo here. Okay, so here's what our book bingo is looking like so far. I can't help but think I'm missing a book somewhere. There should be a book on here somewhere that I missed. And I just, for the life of me, can't seem to figure out what that is currently. So I'm gonna have to come back to that. You know what, let's start with the alphabet this time. Oh, B. I feel like I've got quite a few on B. Let's go back and look. Yeah, see, I've already got 2 on the B line, so we better roll a number that's either a 2, 4, 5, or 6. That would be really cool. If it's a 1 or a 3, I don't know what happens then. Do I just re-roll? So let's go to the number and see what we get. One. No, now I'm gonna have to re-roll. Re-roll the whole thing, guys. Re-roll the whole thing. Okay, so we're going back into here. Let's try again. Okay, E. I don't think we've had many E's. We've only had 1 E. So let's go to the number and hope that we don't get the same number, because what are the odds there? There's 6 numbers. Okay, E6, a book by a female author. Okay, that one, you guys, like, let's take our pick. Any, mini, miny, mo, you know, which one do I want to pick? I think that I'm gonna put Nora Roberts the final target, because this, out of every single one of those books, I'm definitely gonna wanna read my thriller on here. So I think a book by a female author prompt for my book bingo is going to be The Final Target by Nora Roberts. And then that way I have just my 6 books here and we're good to go. Yay! So thank you guys for joining me with talking about books and picking my books for August. This has me so excited for August and the books that I'm going to be able to read then. August just gets to be a free, fun month, and I'm really looking forward to just spending most of that time reading. And now we've got our perfect books for that month, and I absolutely can't wait. So let me know down in the comments below if you have like a book coming out, because honestly, I checked my list. There's literally no books coming out in the month of August that I know of that I'm looking forward to. So no new releases coming out that I know of as I'm talking to you guys right now. But is there any books coming out in August that you guys are looking forward to, or maybe you've got a book planned for the month of August? Let me know down in the comments below what book that is that you guys are most looking forward to reading. And I hope everybody's been having an amazing summer and staying cool if it's hot in your area, because I'm telling you, it's been in the upper hundreds here. Everybody have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.